Hey everyone, time for another Channel Futures Fast Chat. I'm the editorial director of Channel Futures, Craig Galbraith. Really happy to welcome in Sanjay Uppal. Sanjay is the Senior Vice President, VMware Service Provider and Edge. Sanjay, thanks for joining me today.
Awesome. Very nice to chat with you, Craig.
Absolutely. So let's get started. Our audience is starting to get familiar with SASE, but for those who aren't yet, could you describe it and explain where VMware plays in this space?
Yeah, so SASE stands for Secure Access Services Edge. And each of those words means something specific. It is the coming together of network as a service and network security as a service in one services package. And VMware has a full SASE solution available for customers. By full SASE solution, I mean the set of networking services that you would want to get from the cloud, as well as the network security services, and both of these available from a services edge offering.
So what are the key benefits of SD-WAN and SASE that partners should stress in that customer conversation?
Now, when you look at the history of what's happened in this space, historically, enterprises have deployed physical products on their premises to get access to the applications, as well as they've deployed this physical product set in order to get the security. But what has changed over the years is as the applications have moved to the cloud, and as the internet has become better for providing underlying network connectivity, software-defined WAN has been the first SASE service that has been extremely successful and available. And it's because what is physical and a product has moved into becoming what is virtual and a service. And the benefit of that is that customers can consume this much more like a service than by buying physical products and then depreciating them and having all the CapEx and the manageability that needs to go with it. So the fundamental benefit of this kind of architecture and these kinds of services is that you can consume them on the fly, and you can also pick and match whichever services you want, both from the basket of security services as well as networking services. The end goal, of course, is full-fledged secure connectivity for everyone. That is all your users, all your branch offices, all the devices that you might want to connect to the applications that they want to connect to, in a really cost-efficient and interoperable manner.
Excellent. Okay, so we've broken down SD-WAN and SASE a little bit. What differentiates them, VMware and SD-WAN and SASE, from, say, your competitors?
Yeah, so SASE has become a very prevalent trend right now in the networking and the networking security industry. Just like when applications and IT move to the cloud, well, now what we're seeing is networking moving to the cloud, and we're seeing security moving to the cloud. So that's the real essence of what's going on in the SASE space. And what differentiates VMware in terms of all the other providers of SASE solutions is that we've built a network of points of presence, or a network of POPs, from which these services can be deployed on a global basis. Now, we started off by doing that with SD-WAN POPs, and we were quite successful. And now we've rolled those into SASE POPs. And the differentiator is that these POPs are multi-service. So it's not just a single service. In fact, we have a slew of services, 5 of them to date. They are multi-tenant and they are multi-user. So from the same set of POPs, both the partners as well as us can roll out these services to enterprises, and the enterprises can consume them very easily, virtually from the cloud, without deploying physical infrastructure on site. And that's a pretty major benefit. And VMware is one of the only places where you can get this collection of services in this seamless manner.
All right, so let's focus a little bit on the channel, Sanjay. What does this all mean for the channel in general, and particularly the VMware channel?
Yeah, so this is particularly relevant for the channel. And the reason is that as customers are now moving to consuming more cloud and edge-based services, what SASE does is that it brings together all of the applications that people are trying to consume along with the underlying infrastructure. Of course, SASE is part of that underlying infrastructure that you need. It's the digital infrastructure that is the underpinning of the applications that need to be consumed. So for the channel, what this means is that the conversations that they have with the end customers becomes a lot more relevant, even at the C-suite level, because it's not just about providing bits and bytes anymore. It's not just about providing boxes anymore, with certain CPU and memory and storage. It's really about providing a set of services that are relevant to that customer in order for them to meet their business needs. So as an example, in the retail space, when you put in SASE, you can have a conversation about the customer about how this is going to help their customers come in and how they can increase their revenue from those customers across those specific sites. So it's the business relevance that's the number one important thing. The second one that is very important is that this is a services approach. So for the channel that was more used to transactable model, this is now a model that actually perpetuates over a much longer period of time. And so the channel has the opportunity to engage over a period of time with customers, and therefore can sell them a set of services rather than a one-off and then go back and sell another one-off. And the responsibility for the channel, of course, is that you train your people so that now they're used to selling these as a service in a long-term consumable basis rather than a one-off box and product basis.
All right, so this technology changes so quickly, Sanjay. How do you see the evolution of SASE and new services over, say, the next few years?
Yeah, now the changes that are going on right now are pretty dramatic. Back to what SASE is, it's Secure Access Service Edge. The really important part of this is the last two words, which is services and edge. So it is consuming IT as a service all the way out to the edge. And as we know, a revolution is happening right now in computing, where the computing moved from the private cloud into the public cloud, but now computing is moving all the way to the edge. And there are new applications that are coming up that are native at the edge. So in the future, what's going to happen is the SASE set of services are going to be really consistent with what is going on in what's known as the underlay, which is where 5G is coming in. And that is going to be consistent with where applications are moving, edge native applications. So the significant part of this, you can recollect very simply by saying that SASE with compute is going to be where the future is. And I jokingly say sometimes that the SASE is missing a C. So it actually should be SACSE. But then the acronym for that sounds like SACSE, which is kind of a made up thing. But really it's when compute comes in, it becomes part of the application infrastructure. And then you have the underlying network. When all of that can be consumed as a service, this is where this entire area is headed. And I couldn't be more excited about it because VMware is, of course, very strong in the compute stack. We have partnered together with the cloud folks. We're bringing together the 5G infrastructure. And all of this is going to look like one highly consumable services-based approach that the channel can go and position to their customers.
It is exciting for sure, Sanjay. So partners can go to learn more about VMware SASE at SASE, that's SASE, .vmware.com. Sanjay, thanks so much for your time and joining me on this Channel Futures Fast Chat.
Thank you, Craig. Thanks for the opportunity.